Hi Taurus, it's Jenny here with your April Tarot Horoscope. So we're just going to be pulling a single card to see what's coming up for you for the month of April. And for some of you, that's a birthday, so happy birthday to those of you who are having your birthday in April. So I'm just going to, so the first 2/3 of April is Aries season. At the March equinox, we rolled over into an energetic new year. So we're in a brand new cycle, starting with Aries season, and then towards the end of the month, it's Taurus time. So that's what's coming up for you this April, and I've got a card for you. So your card for April is the Page of Wands reversed. So this is the way he looks, the right way up. We have this young man here, nicely dressed, looking snazzy. He's got his big wand here, and all around him we've got this kind of yellowy aura or energy field, and then up along here we have this kind of red streak and some green kind of little swipes of color here, and he came out upside down like that. So that's what we've got for you. We're going to see what the book has to say. So, Page of Wands. Renewed strength. Only on this card is the central figure totally enveloped in his own aura from head to foot. This has a double meaning. The Page of Wands is totally immersed in his own concerns. He surrenders to his flame and his passion unconditionally and is always full of enthusiasm. At the same time, the card counsels us to be aware of the limitations of our perceptions because we are absorbed in our own world. The snake-like or butterfly-like drawings around the central figure alert us to our much greater potential. Our zest for action and desire to develop urge us on to reach beyond our own boundaries now. In relation to our motivational forces, wands, fire, energy, the scope of our actual experience is relatively small. This is a danger, but also an opportunity. Beware of naive inactivity as well as effusive zeal. We once entered this life full of the will to survive, to grow, and to express ourselves. We can harness this zeal now to explore the world thoroughly, greeting each success or failure as a new experience. If we welcome ordeals of fire and recognize them as a form of inner purification, we will find ourselves enriched by these lessons. Our ability always to go beyond ourselves gives us renewed strength and replenishes our youthful vitality. Practical advice. Learn to understand energies that are larger than you. Beware of narrow-mindedness. Hold on to that which makes your heart sing and your spirit soar. So this is a great card for Aries season. It's got a lot of that. So Aries is a fire sign, and it's got a lot of, so it's got the same themes of enthusiasm, vitality, energy, motivation, inspiration. And Aries is also symbolized by, it's like an infant. It's this infantile energy of this like brand new life that's so fresh, not shrouded or clouded by any sorts of doubts or traumas or other experiences, and it's so just concerned with being alive and its own needs. Like a baby is just a bucket of stimuli and just their own experience, and they're very self-centered in a healthy way. They're just here to survive. They've just got here, and they don't need to be concerned with taking care of other people or getting a job or knowing who they are yet. They just are, and it's up to others to take care of them as they sort of figure out their own kind of sense of what their needs are and who they are. That's the actual infant. As we grow up, of course, we learn how to take care of ourselves. We learn that there are other people out there as well that are just as important as us, but it's still important to hold on to that Aries sense of a healthy ego of, I exist, I have needs, I have my own sort of right to exist, and I need to learn how to coexist with all of these other egos that are out there, but not losing sight of that personal fire. And this Page of Wands is very like enveloped in his own energy. He's in his own concerns, in his own maybe excitement, new ideas. The Page of Wands is also like has that not the infant energy, but the energy of a student, a new learner, fresh out of the gate, and so like the infant doesn't have any like set of failures yet, or like feeling hard on themselves or trauma or other people sort of telling them what to do. So that's fresh, a fresh new slate, but also they don't have mastery yet because they haven't had failures. They haven't learned from them either. So there's this bright energy of enthusiasm to learn, but also not mastery yet. So that's the energy of Page anyway, and that's the energy of Aries. And so there's a lot of enthusiasm. But not a lot of mastery yet. And that's a really beautiful state to be in. And that's a very good energy to have for the beginning of the year. This is a new cycle. We don't know what's coming yet. All we have is like a little spark of something, a little new inspiration. And so this is a good time for that. So if you're feeling with this card coming up, there's probably like a little something starting to sizzle for you, like a kind of Aryan, like new spark of an inspiration of an idea that you might be wanting, yes, to be examining throughout this month, but also because this is the start of the energetic year, this may be like a theme for the whole year, up until next Aries season. So this is like, yeah, this new opportunity, where we're at this brand new stage that's going to grow over time. So this is like this card, him being totally enveloped in his energy, is this invitation to really like surrender to this passion or to this excitement. We don't always get these opportunities all the time, like this fresh idea. Most of our life we're like in the working stage of something, or sometimes we're confused or we're switching things. Like this just pure bright excitement and enthusiasm of a new opportunity is a really like great experience to have, but it's usually fairly brief. So like really enjoy it and revel in it, and try to not be in judgment that what this stage doesn't have the strengths of other stages. Like it's maybe not super clarifying, like it's still a fresh idea, but there's not a lot of clarity of, okay, well, how am I going to go about this? I don't know the practical steps yet, or I don't see any results yet, and I don't feel very confident because I don't have a lot of mastery. This is all new. So there's a lot of like things that are not as pleasant at this stage. But if you can try to like not be in judgment or want to rush to the next stage, really do enjoy this kind of basking in this fire excitement, because it's not going to be around for long. So this is a great like harnessing this energy and this enthusiasm, and remembering it is going to help when you're at the later stages of a project or through this cycle where the fire feels like it's gone out a little. There's just a lot of work. It's a little bit more doldrum. So if you've got the memory of this fire still going and able to stoke that, then that's going to be part of this renewed strength. This is a renewal experience of enthusiasm that gets you going. This also might not be a totally new event. Like this isn't necessarily like you're going to start an entirely new art project or an entirely new field of work. This can just be like a next step after a plateau in like a longer sort of like goal or a longer term vision, where this is the new inspiration of the next stage. So this could still be like a long-term art project or a relationship or a life goal, and this isn't necessarily changing tacks completely, but it's a renewal. It's a renewal of your strength and enthusiasm, to get you excited for the next step. It might be a new vision or a new way of doing something, or a new opportunity that's still in service to the long-term vision. This isn't like a throw everything out and start anew. It's just, yeah, getting that excitedness. Again, the warning of this card is trying not to be too narrow-minded, being too enveloped in your own energy or aura, and that is in general a pretty standard thing to have to deal with in Aries season, because Aries season is about the ego and the self, and in a healthy ego, that's a healthy, solid feeling of being your own entity. But the downside is that if that's overdeveloped and unhealthy, then you are like paying attention to your own needs at the expense of others, and you're just sort of ignoring other people, acting impulsively on what you want without really caring or paying attention to who else might get trampled in the way. So you don't want to be so enthused and enclosed in your own excitement that you ignore other people, and like don't be aware that other people have their own needs. So that's the challenge with this card and this particular Aries section. So just like pop your head up every so often. This doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that in order to not be too egoic, that you have to go and help other people all the time, or go and do other things for people, or drop your project because you're trying to say, oh, I don't want to be too self-centered, so I'd better stop what I'm doing and help other people. All you have to do is not be a jerk and not get in the way of other people and not take from other people while you're doing your own thing. You don't have to go and help everybody right now. This season is about you and your enthusiasm and your ideals and your projects. And maybe at other times when this is kind of more rolling along, and then there's different seasons that are more where you can actively go and take your energy and effort into somebody else's life. You don't have to do that. You don't have to actively help other people like do their work for them in order to be an ally or a support, or just not be too egoic. Just don't get in the way. Just don't be selfish. Don't take 6 if you only need 3, and leave some for other people. And that is a help. Just getting out of the way of people and letting them do their own thing, because everybody else is in Aries season too. So a lot of people are experiencing that same inward pull to work on their own themselves. So if they're all working on themselves, you're working on yourself, everybody's taken care of. All we need to do is just not block each other. And you don't need to feel like negatively selfish. There's a lot of rhetoric, and there can be a lot of sort of like, if you're not actively helping somebody, you're being selfish. Or if you are doing something for yourself, you're being selfish. And in like this negative way that we have to always be martyring ourselves or always be subverting our own needs for other people. And that's not healthy and productive either. If you are just working on yourself and understanding your own needs, and then taking care of yourself and allowing and facilitating other people to do the same thing, everybody's taken care of. Like that is a healthy way to do things. And then on top of that, if you have the energy to assist other people, then go for it. But not everybody needs your help. Sometimes they're actually really well empowered to do their own thing. And a lot of the time, for certain kinds of people, you can avoid doing your own projects and avoid working on yourself by helping other people, and then you like get your check mark for the day and you feel good. You're like, I'm a great person, but your own life is kind of falling to shambles, or your own needs are being swept under the rug, and that may eventually lead to a crisis point in your own life that's not actually helpful. So certainly help people if you want, if you've got an overflow of energy and that's what's helpful for you, but make sure that you're not doing that as a way to avoid engaging in your own life and engaging in this opportunity for your own growth. So just be aware this is a healthy time to have an ego and learn how to have a healthy ego, not an overinflated ego or an underdeveloped one. So we're trying to look at a nice healthy balance here, and this sort of fresh renewal. So that's a big chunk of the Aries energy. That is the majority of April. But then towards the end of the month, we're popping into Taurus season. So some of you are going to have some birthdays, and that's already going to be, that's kind of great to tack on to this concept of renewed strength, renewed vision, renewed enthusiasm, because there's nothing like a birthday for a good renewal, and a good like kind of thinking of what it is that you want for yourself. It's like a one day where you get to just like, it can be about you. So really tapping into like allowing to luxuriate in that time. And I know birthdays are mixed feelings for some people. Not everybody loves it. And so if that's a sort of mixed feeling kind of thing, you can just really think about it no matter what as being a time where it's like at least one day out of the year, it's not selfish to think about yourself, and that's your birthday. So if you do struggle with these concepts of having a healthy ego, then a birthday is a great time to sort of practice that and get to be in gratitude. And Taurus energy is great for gratitude. That's one of the great things about a Taurus, more than almost any other sign, is there's such a great potential for gratitude and really luxuriating and experiencing what it is to have a body and just delighting in the senses that it can have. And so that in and of itself can be a renewed strength, is tapping in Taurus season, tapping into your body and tapping into the joy that being in a physical form has, and that like the sensual pleasures that we have, smells, tastes, foods, textures, music, and sensuality, all of those like delights that we have in the body. That's a great way with starting with Aries season. There's this kind of spark of creativity, and then what are you going to do with that? How do you want to start to bring that into being? Starting with the body. Taurus is so embodied. So whether that's like any sort of self-care or physical hobbies or just experiences of sensation, pampering, whatever it might be, as a way to say like, okay, I've got this renewed energy, and I really just want to like soak it into my body and feel that energy in my body. Feel healthy. If you've been in the northern hemisphere, it's been winter time, so getting to delight in warmth coming back again. Or if you're in the southern hemisphere, this is starting to be more like that abundant harvest time, and so again, there's lots of opportunities for indulging. Again, all things are right time and the right measure, so there's a time to indulge as well, and to like just feel the pleasure of having a body. And Taurus season is a great time for that. So that's sort of what's coming up in April. So this really tapping into this new energy, youthful enthusiasm, having that healthy balance of healthy ego, and like being renewed by this enthusiasm without being too narrow-minded and ignoring other people. And then towards the end of the month, really bringing that enthusiasm into the body and indulging in celebration of what it is to be alive, and feel that renewed strength and vigor in your body. That's then going to have that combination of like enthusiasm and like internal spark married to a body strength and comfort and joy, that's like a really solid unit of the self to move forward into the new energetic year with whatever it is that you're going to accomplish. So that's that. If you are curious to know a little bit more about the energies that are going to be present in Aries season, I'd highly recommend you check out my Aries season workshop. It's on my YouTube channel. It's a pay what you can workshop, but it's very accessible because it is pay what you can. So that's going to give you more specific info on some of the planetary transits that are happening, some of the energies that are still present. There's still a lot of Pisces energy that's in the mix, so that's kind of adding a different kind of watery quality to it, and a different awareness of the collective, not just the individual. So all that good stuff is there. Check that out on my work, on my YouTube. And yeah, best of luck this April, Taurus, and again, happy early birthday.